I really do feel like there's so much significance in waiting your turn because we all know life is moving so fast. We have so many different pieces, and not even just that, but distractions. You got people around you that may be high achievers that are building at a progressive rate. And then you have you, somebody who's slightly confused, somebody who's trying to be patient and take in all these moving parts of life. But it's so hard when you feel like you're running out of time. And what happens to a lot of us is we try to rush the process. We get a glimpse of what everybody else is doing on social media. And just to clear this up, the lifestyle that you see that many people are living on social media is an illusion. It's not actually what's going on. People show their best versions of themselves on social media, so do not use that as an exact representation of how somebody is truly living. They're showing you exactly what they want you to see. And what happens is we view all of these celebrities, all of these famous people, and just, let's just say, high achievers in general. And then we start to feel low about ourselves. We start to feel like we need to play catch up, but that's not the case. And you really need to allow yourself to build so that your dreams can unfold naturally. Understanding that it doesn't matter what position you are in life right now, at some point with patience, something will pay off. But one of the things that really did completely change my life was going MIA for a little bit. And for any of y'all who are familiar with my YouTube channel, probably roughly 3-4 months ago, I had moved to Houston, made a couple videos about it. And while I was in Houston, I told myself that I wasn't going to speak to anybody, of course, besides family back home, but I wasn't going to go out there and make any new friends. I wasn't going to socialize. It was going to be strictly, YouTube and building and working on my relationship with God. And one thing that I really did notice while I was going through that transformation stage was the fact that, one, of course, you're gonna feel alone, but the feeling of actually putting yourself in a position to become a better version of yourself is way more worthwhile than continuously living the lifestyle that you were living before. There hasn't been a single moment in my life where I've regretted removing myself from certain environments or from around certain people so that I can elevate, and I regret it. And the reason behind this is because when you're so focused and you're locked in on only you and what you have to provide and the things that you're working and building on, you get rewarded for this. You get rewarded for understanding what needs to be done and putting the work in to get it done. So when I moved to Houston, I instantly seen the results. I instantly seen the way God was blessing me. I instantly seen the way that, my YouTube was starting to grow a little more just based on the consistency and the work that I was putting in. And that really made me realize that when it comes to life and even what the things that we may plan on doing in life, you need to be patient and you need to develop a strong relationship with God, because He will open those doors for you if He see that you're taking it serious. But the door will not open until He knows that you're mentally ready for the things that are on the other side of that door. And by that, I simply mean that oftentimes we try to rush ourselves to a certain point of success when we haven't went or experienced certain prerequisites that we need to experience in order to deal with that concept or that idea of success that's on the other side of that door. So if we haven't personally experienced the things that are needed to experience to allow this form of success to flourish, then we simply are not ready. And what ends up happening is many of us may face this form of defeat and we get discouraged and we feel as if the things that we're pursuing are simply not for us. But that's not the case. We just haven't went through the things that are necessary in order to make this form of success flourish. So we just haven't experienced what we need to experience yet. Be patient. Slow your life down. The sooner that you learn how to be content with what you do have at this very moment, and then utilize that in order to reach that goal or those certain points in your life, the sooner that form of success will come to you. But if you're rushing it, if you don't know how to be content with what you do have, you'll realize that you'll kind of always be without. Because even when I was younger, when I was constantly complaining, when I was never okay, I always had something that I needed or something that I felt like I wanted. I always realized that when I would get the things that I quote unquote needed, it still wasn't enough. And then that really taught me the beauty in life, that it's not necessarily about your resources. It's more so about how you can improvise and make do with the things that you do have at this very moment, using everything to your best advantage, because even the tools that you may have available to you right now, the next person may not even have those. So who are you, or who am I to not spend, time being grateful and thankful for where we're at, and learning how to appreciate this exact moment for what it is. But at moments like this, the best thing that you can do is go MIA. The best thing that you could do is really put yourself in that mindset where you learn patience. And I'm not talking about giving yourself a week or two of just isolation where you may be locked in on your dreams and stuff. I mean, really removing yourself. And the way that you really do this in a successful way is you don't necessarily give yourself a deadline. Don't say, I'm gonna go to this place and put myself in this position for so and so weeks, and I'm gonna see how that goes. You go there with no limits or expectations and just see how long you could do it. This way you're not let down if you don't live up to 3-4 weeks, and you just allow yourself to flourish naturally. But when you try to predict and when you try to force everything, this is why so many people fail. I feel like it's very important that you just live sometimes. It's very important that you just be in that moment and just allow things to unfold naturally. But what ends up happening is the fact that so many people try to skip the process for things that they're not even prepared for. Just think high school sports. You start with freshmen, then there's JV, junior varsity, and then there's varsity, right? So you have 3 different levels. A lot of people aren't skilled enough to go straight to varsity coming in as a freshman. You got to build your way up to that point so that you can exceed in a right manner, right? So I say that to say, allow yourself to go through the motions, allow yourself to go through whatever it is that you need to go through so that you can get to that end goal. Do not speed it up. Do not compare yourself to everyone else or what you may see on social media of people living these lavish lifestyles that are really probably not even real. It's probably fake. So this shouldn't be a good comparison as to what you should do with your life. Live according to real life. Live according to what you genuinely want to do and leave it at that. But comparing yourself to the next person will never be a solution. You'll always be unhappy because there's always going to be somebody out there that's bigger, that's doing better, that has more, that's more successful. So this will always leave you feeling empty. But your true purpose will unfold at the exact moment that it's supposed to. Just think about anything that may have happened in your life where you may have had a breakthrough, right? And I guarantee we can all agree on this. Whenever it did happen, whenever that breakthrough did come, we may have had those thoughts of, man, like I didn't think this was going to happen. But when it did happen, you realized that it couldn't have been a better moment. You may have been on the verge of quitting. You may have been financially distressed. And that breakthrough was just enough right before you really gave up, right before you really just kind of just caved in and sacrificed it all. You finally got that breakthrough that you needed. And this is usually how it happens, because now you're mentally prepared for that form of success. Now you're mentally prepared for whatever comes with that version of life that you're choosing to pursue. But if you don't allow yourself to go through the motions, if you don't allow yourself to be weakened by this version of, losses that you may be facing at that current moment, then you'll never really experience your true purpose or your true destiny. But more than anything, you need patience. More than anything, you need to be able to go through those trial and error moments where you feel like there is nothing out here for you, where you may not have no clue what direction you're going in, where you may not have no clue how something's going to turn out, but you just know that you cannot quit. You cannot quit on yourself, and you cannot quit on the people that genuinely care about you. That's one thing that always keeps me going, is I make my life and my story way bigger than just myself. Because if you're just doing it for you, at some point you're going to run out of fuel and you're just going to be like, forget it. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm not where I want to be. I can genuinely quit, and I know that I'm the only one that's going to be, affected by me quitting. But when you make it about your family, when you make it about the people that you love, you know that quitting is not an option. You know that being patient is mandatory because you have people that are genuinely relying on you. So with that being said, just develop this form of patience. Give yourself some time. Do not rush getting into your purpose or getting into that dream career that you want to be in, because you just never know what door it can open. And when it comes to topics like this, one thing that always motivates me is those people in life who finally made it or had that breakthrough, even in their 40s or 50s. There's so many celebrities who went through that, and it really does give me hope because I understand that being in my 20s, you're just developing so much. Your frontal lobe is probably not even fully developed if you're under 25, and even for men, it doesn't necessarily fully develop until you're 30. So just keep that in mind as you're feeling these different emotions, as you're going through these different phases and cycles. And at some point, you just have to accept that you're a human being. You're real. You're going to have certain feelings. But besides all of that, you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing forward. And not only that, you have to stay grounded. You have to find some sort of balance in your everyday life that allows you to continue to push forward, because if you don't, it's going to be much easier for you to quit and give up on yourself. But I'm here to let you know today that quitting is not an option. Giving up on the life that you set out for yourself is not an option. You just have to keep going. But it's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.